What is up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. We've got Andy Scherer here. We've got Greg McDaniel, the Junior Grandmaster himself. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. We're going to have a ton of fun today. And we're also going to deliver a lot of content. We're going to answer some questions. We've got live questions, I'm sure, that are going to come in here pretty quick. But let me bring in the Junior Grandmaster himself before he gets too impatient and just cuts me off and starts talking. Greg McDaniel. Greg, what's up today?
What's up, pimpin'? Hey, man, what a blessing of a day, dude. What an absolute blessing of the day, dude. I got, and first off, I want you to check your mic, by the way. I don't think you're pulling through your good mic. Just a heads up on that one. But, oh, angry sexist women. Dude, I had a young gal out of the mid part of California here. She reached out to me. She has been binge watching. Sheila, I'm calling you out, girlfriend, on our stuff. Her brokerage has not been doing a very good job. Not gonna say who it is. First letter K, next W, next letter is W. I'm playing their agent.
Cow? Is it cow brokerage?
This is the cow, Matt. It's a big fat cow. But Sheila, we had an opportunity to sit down. She has some really good ideas. So go knock it out, girl. Go kick ass and take names. And then Lily Chen from the Peninsula. I think I said that right. But if I didn't, well, we're just going to live with it. She sends me a Facebook message this morning. She has a picture of my ugly mug with a viral video on a screen. I'm like, what the hell? She's like, oh, this is in our team meeting. They're talking about you. I'm like, oh, God, what are they talking about? She's like, how not to be this agent. I'm like, what? No, I'm kidding.
Plotting your untimely demise.
Yeah. But, yeah, it was awesome, man. And then Justin Robbins. Justin, I'm calling you out, too, man. This cat, man, he developed from watching what you and I have been doing for the last couple of months. He got 12,000 leads he generated last year, and he broke his own record, and he developed 80 leads in one day. So we're going to get him on the show talking about how to do that for yourself, kind of what he's doing, and really how to kind of change your life. So it's been a very active, fun, incredible day. And now that Andy's here, dude, we were laughing our asses off in the intro.
That's right. So enough of that. No more sense of humor for them. We got it all live. Thank God. All right, Andy, what's up today?
How goes it? Thanks, guys, for having me on, man. It's awesome, and like you guys said, it's gonna be a fun show packed with some good content up in here. So
that's right. Exciting. All right, guys. So I got to know Andy through Aaron Wittenstein, which Aaron would bring Andy into the Expired Mastery sessions that I've been co-hosting with Aaron. And that's how I got to know him. So Andy is Aaron's coach and coach to a lot of other agents, and is very, very up and coming in the whole coaching world. And so we're going to talk about his approach, and we're going to talk about how to generate referrals and answer some questions and stuff like that. But first of all, Andy, how did you meet Aaron? How did that relationship come to pass?
A lot of failure. No. So he started lead gen scripts and objections. I think it was 2 years ago or so. I was introduced through mutual admin at that point, and we started. Aaron was the big bad scripter, if you will. So it was like, you had to, in order to be an admin, you had to script with Aaron first. You had to make sure that we were good enough to be right next to him. So long story short, I beat the crap out of him. So he invited me over to a panel. We started doing script workouts together, became script partners, and then it evolved into him asking me to coach him on a weekly basis and hold him accountable and level up. So that's the long 2-year story short.
He is watching this. He's probably sitting there going, he didn't kick my ass. He didn't kick my ass. And he's like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, no.
Third-party verification. All right, guys, let's take a question here real quick and dive in, and then we'll get into more of how to generate referrals and some other cool stuff we want to get into. But Brian Brown, this is from the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections group, says, for those that hold open houses, what's your go-to script for getting your visitors to leave their information on your register? So, Greg, let's start with you.
Well, okay. Sounds good to me. Yeah. So Andy and I were talking about this off air. One of the easiest ways to do it is get your handy dandy Hobbit pad, aka yellow pad, whatever you want to call them, and then you can preload it. And giving this to Andy, but I love the idea, so I'm going to talk about it. Write a couple of names down with some phone numbers. They don't have to be real. You can write your mom and dad's name down, as long as it doesn't have the same last name, so that it's social proof that everyone else is giving you the information. But the most important thing is that you have your pad. You just kind of look down and say, so Matt, what's your best email address? And then you just constantly stare at your yellow pad, looking up expectantly every once in a while. Like, you still there? You breathing? What's going on? Okay, back down. Another script that I like to use a lot is, Matt, Julie, your 3 obese little wood denting babies. What's your best email just in case? Now, the script there is just in case, because you don't give them a reason. You just say, just in case, because their mind will automatically default back to a worst case scenario, and they will be compelled to 9 times out of 10 give you the contact information. So those are 2 of my favorites.
Okay. Andy, what say you?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, and just throwing in some nonverbal to what Greg was just mentioning there. So if you have the pen and paper right here, it's name, and you can look right at them, shake your head yes. So you're just giving them confirmation that it's okay. I'm not going to take your stuff. It's fine. I'm safe. And then one of the things, just confirming the information too, because people are going to give you wrong information, whether it's wrong email or wrong phone number. And Greg and I were talking about this also before. So just repeating it back and putting basically verifying the information against them. So, if they said the last 4 are 4881, it's okay. I'm sorry. Can you just repeat the last 4 to me again? And I mean, you already knew what they were, but again, just verifying what those last 4 digits were for the phone number. Greg, you had another one too in there. I think with verifying their information.
Yeah. You just give us the old school.
The old school, like so. Old school. So, Matt, Julie, your 3 obese little wood denting bastard babies, they need insulin continuously because you fed them malnutrition their entire lives as a bad parent, Matt. I'm sorry.
Jeez, you just go way down the rabbit hole with that sometimes.
Yeah,
way down the
that
rabbit
went quick.
Digression complete. So what it is that I'd say, Matt, Julie. So let me read. So your phone number is 925-915 and then 1978. And then you say yes. They say, let me confirm. So that's 925-1977, right? You just change the last 2 or change the first 2. Just flip flop some numbers somewhere. Is a very good, easy way to kind of touch base and check with these people. Now, me being dyslexic, I probably might agree to both. Like, yeah, that makes total sense.
I was going to say, Greg, you could stumble upon that technique accidentally just by attempting to read back what you just wrote down. Like, that's 1987. No, not 1970. All right, so that's 1798. No, that's 1980. Wait, what was it now? They get people mixed up on their own phone number would be great.
Shit, I would get so mixed up I wouldn't know what was right anyways. I'd be like, oh, fuck it. Yeah. Whatever.
All right, but it sounds like the moral of the story is you set the expectations for what people think is normal about how you act about what's normal. Now here's the kicker though, because I get that works one-on-one, right? You just look down, ask for it, or you confirm with body language and you shake your head and blah, blah, blah. What is the strategy for if you get pulled off and you are walking with someone because they might actually be a lead and you want to make sure that you get the other people that are walking in? Now, do you always have a partner? Do you always have a lender there? Do you always have somebody at the front door? Greg, what's your take on this?
I want to answer this one. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is a script that I use right off the bat when someone walks into my open house, which will qualify them in a couple of different ways. So I know if I'm going to spend time with them or not spend time with them. If it's a busy open house, I say, Matt, Julie, your 3 obese little babies coming on through. Please don't dent the walls. Don't lean on them, child. You're gonna go right through them.
Paper thin those walls in Walnut Creek. And alive. Like a lot of babies. Built in the 80s in your area, Greg?
1940s, actually. We'll have to widen the doors widen the hallways for your kids.
Clearly. So man, it's like a bowling alley with gutters.
So what I do is I say, Matt, Julie, I really appreciate you guys coming through. I'm handing you a flyer. Let me ask you a quick question. How did you guys hear about us today? Did you find us online? Did you find them on the site, or did your agent send you? Now, right then and there, I'm going to know what type of marketing is working the best for that listing. And I'm going to know if, Andy sent Matt as Andy's the agent, and Matt goes, no, I got this great agent, Andy, and he sent us over. Great. I'm going to be polite, but I'm not going to spend any time with you because you're not worth my time. And at the end, you get to build rapport first, because if you go right after the information right at the beginning, it's not going to do anything. It's like asking a girl to marry you and you guys just got appetizers. Shit ain't going to go well, okay? Because there's no trust. And you're like, well, yeah.
Well, hey, what if the appetizers are really good? All right.
Yeah.
I do have one thing to contribute on this, which is this is from Andy Cuny, who runs he's the success manager for Jeff Cohn's team in Omaha. He's the one that oversees the 25 plus agents in the Omaha office and does all the training and accountability with the flat rate expansion agents that we have around the country. So what he does is he does like a $200 Visa gift card giveaway, and you register on the iPad. So everyone's encouraged, and there's a display at the front that, if you come in and register right away, it's for the, please, our sellers have requested that we have everyone register when they come into the open house, but you also get entered into a free giveaway for a Visa gift card, right? So then he turns around, follows up with everybody the next day that registered, and everybody wins the gift card, right? It's not a drawing. Everybody wins, because if they turn into a lead and they buy a home through him, then he just pays it out of closing.
I like that.
Not bad, right?
No, it's not bad at all. Actually, really.
And it's a great incentive for them to pick up the phone when you call, because they know.
Incentive.
Yeah. So I thought that was a really good idea. I was actually going to have, we're going to have Andy on the show here a few weeks back. He ended up not being able to make it, but I wanted to do an entire episode of open houses with Andy, because he's got some really great stuff to contribute on that, and that was just one of them. So we'll dive into that deeper another time with him, but I wanted to throw that out there. So anyway, all right, guys, there's another question that I wanted to get into before we drop into some serious knowledge here. Angie Lee says, how do you respond to this objection? Before I sign this buyer agreement, what is your kickback rate? Other agents that I know are giving kickbacks. So Andy, let's start with you. What do you say to that?
So the kickback, I think, is the key term. So what we were talking about before is this, understanding the difference between a kickback and sort of that buyer incentive. So, the traditional buyer incentive, you're looking between that 15 and 25%. Reload companies, again, are 25%, down to 15% if you get good with negotiating that. But, it's really just going to vary based on the closing. You don't want it to be something where you're going to consistently do the same 15% back. That's where you're going to end up getting in some serious hot water, so avoid that at all costs. And, again, what we were mentioning before is, if you're going to do something bigger gift wise or bigger incentive wise, have that as like a marketing expense, but 15% is okay. Anything around those lines is at least my opinion on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Greg, would you just take the opposite way, which is just to try to protect your commission in general before you even get into the particulars of what a kickback could or shouldn't be?
First off, kickbacks are illegal. All right, we'll make that real clear, guys. There's no gray area on that. The IRS doesn't play around with that, so don't do it. You will lose your license, your livelihood, and your wife's going to divorce you. So unless you don't like your wife, please don't do the kickbacks. Now, it could be a good exit out of both a career and a marriage.
It's a good exit strategy.
That's not bad.
I had to, honey.
I mean, it does involve some messy entanglements with the government, but hey, I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Oh, Christ. Yeah, no, I will walk away, and because first, fuck you. I am worth this, and I'm not going to let you nickel and dime me, because if I give up my money, how am I going to protect your money down the road? And yes, that's a line that's been used 1,000 times, but if you can't you can't convince your own clients who you're on the same team with that you're worth that extra 15%, which means you started off in the beginning bringing less than zero power to this relationship business-wise. I
think it's value too, Greg.
Yeah.
I mean, and the biggest thing is those objections come in the absence of value. So if you're sitting there getting nickel and a dime, there's a value issue. So figure out where the value gap is, and you'll be able to solve that.
Yeah, I always get these questions, Andy. They always ask me, "Oh, Greg, how do I close a client?" I'm like, "Well, first, you don't close a client, you open a client." Massive, massive, massive value. Dude, they will pay you. They'll pay you 25% commissions if you show that you're worth that. It's not about the 5 or 6%. It's getting the value that they're perceiving that it's going to be. So always open in a massive, massive, massive way. You will not get the commission issue if you're already more valuable than the next guy.
And absolutely. And I think too, and I mean, we can freaking go all day on this thing, but I mean, if you're getting those freaking clients, get on the damn phone. Like, get on the phone, create more clients that aren't going to actually give you that objection. Like, get on the phone and get clients that want to work with you, that appreciate the stuff that you're doing, that value your time. Like, if that's so, number one, it's a lead problem. Number two, it's a value problem. Number three, just don't work with them. I mean, and again, if they're great clients, go above and beyond, give them a marketing gift, talk to your accountant as to what you can write off as a marketing expense, and get it done. Those are great referral sources down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've actually, I did like the breath moment when except I'm no different than the rest of you guys. Shit, I work hard for my leads and my clients that I work with, and I don't want to go south, but I'm not going to cut my own throat. And yeah, it's scary as shit when you're sitting there like, well, are you going to cut your commission? I'm like, nope. Please, for the love of Christ, don't walk away from me. Oh, good. Oh, good, you're still here. Oh, thank God. No, but I had one of my clients last year. Mr. asked me, well, what about giving us some kickback on the commission? And I took a deep breath. I said, well, Dave, that brings up a good point. And I'm sorry, but that's not how our team operates. We're a team of 7, and we are worth our 2.5% commission. And it's illegal for me to do a kickback. Now, if you'd like to work with someone, they can't protect their own money right up front, I can introduce you to a few. But for our team, our cost is going to be this percent. And the wife just turns to him and goes, David, pay him the commission. He's worth it. And I'm like, you're my best friend.
All right. Well, let's segue that into talking about, how do you generate referrals? Because that is a big topic. Andy, you were talking about how that's coming up a lot lately. So you mentioned just briefly how that leads into that. So what's your recommendation for agents that want to generate more referrals? Like, where do you start? What's a good strategy for them?
Yeah. So, some background there too is, I think the trend has been going for the past 3 weeks where it's agent upon agent where, either they don't want to generate business from expired or withdrawn, or they have 18 years of experience of closed clients, but they're not getting referrals, or, their clients love them, absolutely love them, invite them out for dinner, but they're still not getting referrals. My philosophy behind it is the sale starts when they say yes. So legitimately, as soon as they say yes to that appointment, that's when your sale starts. So what are you doing to deepen those relationships, and how are you setting those expectations? On the pre-qualification script, which everyone should be pre-qualifying 100% of the time, no matter what, friends, family, doesn't matter. Yeah. What is that ending script that you're using? Mr. and Mrs. Seller, my intent is to come over at Thursday at 4, make you feel comfortable and confident, enough where you're going to send me your friends and family from the time that we sign the listing agreement on Thursday at 4 to 90 days, if not 15 years after we close. So setting those expectations, and then every single conversation that you have from there on, it's just, how am I doing? How's my level of service? Who do you know that's just like you? Asking for feedback. Setting those expectations up front consistently, constantly, it's just one of those things that cannot go unnoticed. And that time period between the listing consultation or buyer contract or buyer agency agreement that's signed and 90 days after you close, we should be generating between 2 and 3 current client referrals during that time period alone. So again, what are you guys doing to deepen those relationships? That's like the key question that I've been asking these guys. And the common trend is, I don't know, I just sort of dump them like a college date. We date for 3 months, and then, we buy a few drinks here and there, and we celebrate. And then all of a sudden after we, you get in the end zone, we're done. It's like, oh, you may want to switch things up a little bit.
That's funny.
I'm so much fun up here in my brain just going, that's funny.
Let's see how politically incorrect we can get this episode to be.
Oh, it's horrifically bad. That's like, even for me, I'm like, I probably shouldn't share that one.
Yep.
But so one of the things, Andy, I don't know what you've been seeing, but you can create custom lists on Facebook, and you can then do Facebook Lives directly to those lists. You can review them instead of looking at all the dipshits on your Facebook group, on your Facebook page. You just hone in with your past clients, future clients, whatever else. So you can look at their news feeds and be relevant to them and consistently being in their life and congratulating them on a new baby, went on a trip, got a promotion, whatever it is, you're staying relevant to them. A script that I've found that's really helpful is you can do it in written or digital or person to person form, but it just goes like this. Dude, Andy, Matt, guys, I am so glad. I haven't seen you guys forever, man. It's so good. I'm glad I could buy you coffee. How's life? Yakety schmackety, small talk. So guys, I want to tell you something. We're having a contest in the office, and I have a goal to reach X deals this year, but I really need your guys' help to do it because I don't know everybody. I know you guys know people I don't know. So, who do you know that could help me get to X deals. Let's say it's 30 deals this year, and I'm really trying to do it. Who do you know that I should be speaking with that's buying or selling? Because I got to beat this Bob Jones. He's a dick in the office, right? And then you just keep on updating your people once a quarter, digitally and in written. Hey, thanks so much for all your friends, all my friends and family that have given me so many referrals. I've been blessed to work with 10 people this quarter, and wow, okay, I only need 20 more guys. Can I beat Bob Jones the dick? Come, Greg McDaniel team united, against all the dicks in the world. But I mean, if you keep giving that insight, so maybe get 7 the next quarter. Now you're at 17, but now you need another 12, and you see how this goes. But then if you be able to beat it or meet it in a shorter amount of time, then you can go celebrate and you can say, guys, let's go see how many more we can go. Let's see how many more families you can help. Then you start that whole cycle of conversation over again the next year. Okay, we're going up against the dick again. Now we did 35 last year. Matt's shaking his head, going, Greg, don't say the word again. Don't say, he said it again. But I mean, you just keep upping it and changing it. But get them; they want to be a part of a team, part of become something bigger than them. Why does everybody like football so much? It's bigger than them.
Yeah, it is absolutely. And we're not talking about anyway. So
it's very very sad.
So
it's a depressing day in football land today. For anyone that's watching or listening at a later time, this is recorded the day after Super Bowl 51. Very sad.
Yeah.
Great game, but shitty outcome.
But so Greg, just to your point too, I mean, if I challenge you to say, hey, listen, who are the top 40 clients that you have? Yeah, you could probably spend another 2 or 3 days just picking out 40 of your past clients that have the capacity to send you a lot of referral business. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that, especially with somebody in the industry for an extended period of time, they have top 40s and they can really pick out who those top lead generators are for them. So why not drive deeper into those relationships? Mm-hmm. So how often are they actually being called? Are they called on a monthly basis? Are you doing a pop by just out of the blue, like once a quarter? Are you guys doing quarterly events? Send out cards, AM cards. There's so many different things that you guys can do to just deepen those relationships and teach them how to lead generate for you. Like that's everybody sits here and says, ISAs and so on and so forth. I think ISAs are a phenomenal source of business, phenomenal. And especially when it comes to leverage, but there's nothing better lead generating for you than a happy client.
So true. Third party. That's why all those third party sites are, referral sites. Why do you want to get testimonials on, Zillow? Because if Andy and Matt both say that Greg rocks as an agent, well, Becky, who might be a client of mine, reads those testimonials and goes, oh, I'll totally believe in you. I think, what is it? Like 79% more likely to work with someone if they read a third party referral. Yeah. It's just ridiculous, but it also goes negative on you. If they read more than 2 negative referrals, they think you're the greatest thing in sliced bread when they met you, but then the other people don't like you. Click delete. You are done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which goes back to one of the premium, not premium, one of the primary reasons that people buy or make it a buying decision, or they don't buy something, is that fear of public failure, that fear of risk, of making the wrong decision, choosing the wrong agent, choosing whatever it is that you're selling. That's one of the interesting things that I've learned going through one of the sales courses, which is Perry Belcher's Secret Selling System for anybody that's interested. It's in the inside of Digital Marketers Lab. But anyway, he goes through like the primary psychological triggers for why people buy or why they don't buy, and that's one of them. It's really, really amazing course. But anyway, yes. So first of all, Andy, how do people get in touch with you before we dive into the 9 pillars?
Keep it nice and simple. So Facebook, obviously email is another one, andy@insourcerealestate.com. My personal cell is always out there and available for folks. So 203-257-5279. Okay. And just in case Greg wants to re-verify that, 203-257-5279.
I didn't get any of that, but anyway.
Oh, Lord.
All right. So, Andy, take us through just give us a high-level overview of what are the 9 pillars.
So, basically starting out, faith and spirituality, I think are obviously at least for me, in my opinion, they're number one.
Offended.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to end the call right now, guys. Thanks for coming. So, family relationships is number 2. So again, faith and spirituality, family and relationships, health, mindset, business obviously is a major pillar, personal, lifestyle, financial, and education. So essentially it's the coaching style that I go to, and these 9 pillars aren't original. If someone reads the Code of the Extraordinary Mind, that goes into 12 different pillars. I sort of just structure it a little bit differently and hone down a little bit more. But I mean, it really just comes down to mindfulness and awareness and alignment on all levels. So just trying to be really, really mindful of where your gaps are so you can intentionally work on those and strategically work on those every day.
That's good, man. A lot of people overlook that quite a bit, and it's important that you get back to some of that stuff and figure out what those different pillars are for you. Because I mean, we all forget about things. Like Matt, we were laughing about one of our past shows, how every one of us on the show, were like, oh crap, dude, we totally suck at doing LinkedIn, and we should have been doing LinkedIn, and we forgot about all the different groups we can follow up on.
Wasn't that Seth?
Media site. Yeah, it was Seth.
Was that Seth? Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. Dude, he's letting me in the 30 and 30. 30 leads in 30 days. He's bringing into an ultra private group. I cannot wait. Oh my God, it's Christmas.
Nice,
Christmas in February.
Warm bag of fresh hot leads.
Well, I will not touch that with a 10-foot pole.
So that's Frank from Viral. That's his thing. It's a nice bag. Just fresh bag of fresh hot leads.
So I think too, Greg, to your point, a lot of people forget about this stuff, or it's just not top of mind. Mm-hmm. So when they're thinking like, where's my disconnect in business? Like, why am I not lead generating the right way? Or why am I not attracting the right clients? Or why am I not attracting the right referral partners or whatever that is? I mean, there's so much that goes into it. So a lot of these coaching sessions, yes, they're about business, and yes, they're about systems and strategies and processes and other products and shiny objects and all that other crap. But a lot of it, a lot of it drills down into, where's my mindset? Am I sitting here being engulfed in friggin' negativity, or like, how am I starting my day? How am I bookending my day from start to finish? And am I journaling? Am I being reflective? And where are really my gaps?
It's so true. I mean, the McDaniel challenge that, guys, if you're listening to this, it's not being offered anymore since it got, it's booked out to April 2018. But the people I talked to, thank you. But guys, like Andy was talking about, guys, so many of you that talk with me, you have fucked up mindsets. You don't think you're worthy. You're not qualified. You can't do it.
Yes.
And you're sitting like, what screw got so loose in your brain that's rattling around and up there like a nail got, that isn't attached anymore, because somewhere 100%. Someone told you that you couldn't do it, and you took it to heart because that fucking dipshit was afraid that you were going to take their business, or that you were going to look better than they were, then their social standing was going to get negatively impacted. So they decided to bring you down and break you down.
And this is where I get amped, dude. I mean, you're 100%. Like, I had a coaching call today with an agent that's been in the business for 2 years. And I mean, she's like, I'm giving myself 6 months. I'm like, what do you mean you're giving yourself 6 months?
Do you have like cancer or something? What's up?
Well, and it was like, well, if I don't 6 months, then I'm out. I'm like, no, it's time to burn the damn boats. Like, forget. And there was, she was actually working a part-time job. So we had, during this coaching call, 45 minutes, I think, is what it ended up taking. But it's like, the number of times that I repeated, "You are enough," like, it's insane. Just getting that little mindset of reconditioning, so just showing different ways that you can actually intentionally and effectively recondition your mindset. Affirmations are great. But the power of asking yourself questions and actually answering those questions, so an example is my son, the tip, he's 9. So I'll sit there and I'll say, when I didn't do this, when he was about 5 or so, I'd say, oh, it's a typical parent thing. Hey, hey, Matt, have a great day. It's like, oh, well, okay, cool. But then you ask him, like, Matt, are you going to have a good day today?
Yeah, of course.
And then you have to answer it. Right. So then you ask him and say, okay, dude, like, what makes a great day? So now every time he answers, like, are you going to have a great day today? He's replaying that vision of what his ideal day is every single gosh darn time. So just, again, reconditioning your mindset from whatever the hell happened back then, or yesterday for that matter, to holy hell, I can actually get this done, and I am enough to make it happen.
Absolutely. I've told this story several times. I love telling it because dude, it happens every morning for me. So I'm a work in progress, just like all the rest of y'all. Like one day, like I did this a couple of years ago. I took a whole week and I told myself every morning I woke up, I'm like, this sucks. This blows. It's cold. I'm tired. I don't want to do this. I'm already fat. Doesn't matter, even though I wasn't. And I would I wouldn't really want to do it, but I'd drag my ass and go to the gym and I just have a shitty day. Then the next week, just like what you were saying, Andy, I would tell myself, I'm like, today's going to be an amazing day. Today is going to be an amazing day. And then right when I was swinging my feet out and I would land them on the ground, I'm like, today is going to be an amazing day. And my mindset completely shifted. I had an awesome time. The weeks were incredible. Business flowed to me like lava from the inside of Mother Earth. I mean, it was on fire, rock star status.
Like the salmon of Capistrano.
The salmon of Capistrano. But changing small verbiage like this, guys, these are negatively powered words. And a lot of us do this. Like, I can't, I won't, it's hard, I don't believe, I'm skeptical, I don't like it. Yeah, I struggle. But if you change them to this, I can, I am, I believe, it is done, I can do it, I can do anything. It empowers you in a positive way. You know, I was talking with a young gal today, and she is straight up burning the boats, dude. She quit her job. She's going in for surgery, in kind of a not very fun surgery to have. She's going to be laid up for 14 days. She has 2 daughters, no other support, but she's just like, I'm balls in, balls to the walls. Let's do this. I'm burning the damn boats. I'm making it happen. And we came up with some ideas of what she could do, but that's the type of attitude you need to have.
Yeah.
You can't go into it just half-assed, like, well, if I do it, great. If I don't, great. Yeah. You know, congratulations, you just failed, because you will never, ever have to get it done. If you had 2-year goals, but then you had to condense them down and get them done in 6 months, what would you do? You had to do it. You are a firing squad in 6 months if you couldn't accomplish these goals. Go get the 1 Minute Millionaire, guys. It explains all of that on if you just leverage the people around you and you think outside the box and you just do things that are a little bit different than everybody else. And sure as shit, don't listen to all the naysayers. God, don't listen to those fools, because you know what? They're going to be close friends and they're going to be family most of the time. And that's the really big bummer about it.
And what was it too in Darren Hardy's compound effect? What do you say, like 0.3%? It's like a difference of 0.3% on a daily basis. Like if you do more, like it's that freaking incremental. It's insane.
So small. I have my door knocking and calling sheet that I've shown you guys a couple of times on the show. Matt and I are working with a gal out of Canada who is reworking it and locking it so no one can break the damn thing. But then we're going to get it out to you guys. And like we were talking about, Andy, the difference between a 1-hour shift every day, making those calls, can radically change the amount of income you're going to have. But what else are you going to do for that other hour?
Well, absolutely. And it's the same thing. So one of the pillars being education, and there's something that I coach to, which is an E versus E quotient. So entertainment versus education quotient. So if you just change 5 minutes, just focus on 5 freaking minutes, add 5 minutes of reading instead of five additional minutes of the TV. Like you're already doing much more than most. So if you can continue to do that, what will end up happening naturally is that your entertainment will start to become your education. So that just naturally shifts over. Yeah,
it is. Right? I mean, it is. I mean, they did a study a number of years ago. They said the average commute to work is 25 minutes and from home is 25 minutes. If you were to take and listen to an audible book, a podcast, something along those lines, for those 25 minutes, basically an hour a
PhD,
day.
Baby.
PhD in the end of 12 months, you have the equivalent of a PhD in that area. You're already spending the time. Stop listening to the freaking Justin Bieber dipshit song.
Well, not only that, but how much, I mean, no joke, how much negativity, like I really do. I get really pissed off about this. Like how much negativity is out there. I mean, the news medias and everything else, they just prey on freaking negativity, dude. It's like, come on, like do yourself a favor. Just shut it off, cut it off. Like just surgically cut it all out.
All right. Why isn't there like National Hug Day or Rainbow Day or Catch a Butterfly Day? Because that shit doesn't sell.
I just actually booked a flight for National Hug Days to come out.
that does exist, Greg. You just maybe not watching the right news outlet. But yeah, I mean, it's so I used to read the newspaper every day, every single day. And you know what? The first section I would turn to, sports. Second section I would turn to would be the political editorials. You want to I
was hoping you were going to say obituaries.
I was going to say obituaries too.
No, screw them. They're dead. But no. But the political editorials, man, that will make you think that the world's worst things are happening all the time. My life has greatly improved since I do not read the newspaper every day. I live in blissful unawareness of most of what's going on in the world, and most of it doesn't affect my business, and it barely affects my ability to make small talk with people because I'm very curious because I have no idea what's going on. And so conversation with strangers are great because I have no opinions about things because I don't know what's going on. So I can just let them tell me.
And you know, guys, he's not kidding. Matt really doesn't do that. He really does disconnect. So I'll ask him, like, hey, Matt, you heard about this? He's like, what? Wait, what happened? I'm like,
was it on Facebook trending top? No?
It's the same damn thing. Like, and I'm probably going to step in hot water here with our viewership, but
no, you won't.
Trump's elected. Okay. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Yeah. Sure, policies will change or whatever else, but the impact it has on me directly and the path of my success and trajectory and how I impact other people, it's pretty much so non-existent.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait. See, the problem is that we never get the satisfaction of 4 years from now. There should be a moment where nothing has changed or virtually nothing has changed. And those of us that knew that now get to humiliate all the people that are freaking out on one side of the aisle or the other. Sadly, that day will never come. I'll just be right 4 years from now, and everybody else will be panicking about the next thing.
Well, I think
we'll still live in blissful unawareness.
Absolutely. And in my humble opinion, or what will probably come off as not so humble opinion in this case, but is take freaking responsibility, guys. Like, take responsibility.
Extreme ownership.
Like, come on. I mean, I'm sorry, but the orange dude in the Oval Office, he's not going to have an impact on me right now. And if you really think that he is, I'm sorry. Like, I'll unfriend you. I'll unfollow you. Okay, cool. It's a click of a button for me, and my life gets better.
Yeah. Well, it's also just control what you can control, guys, in every aspect of life. If you're overweight and you need to get to the gym, stop wishing and looking at pictures of pretty people that are in shape. Get your fat ass in the fucking gym. If you don't like what people are saying, stop watching Facebook. It's a political disaster of an abortion out there, just nasty, gory, horrible things, and you're going to choose to let it affect you or not. I have blinders on with that crap. You got an issue, I just keep going. I'm like, ooh, something positive. Whoop, let's read that. You know, or educational, just focus on what you can control right now. You as a human being, not as a society or as an industry in real estate. Don't worry about what the rates are going to be doing next month. Be worrying about what your sellers and buyers are going to be doing today. You know, you
have so much to fight internally. There's so much, like, honestly, like, why spend the energy and the emotion to try to deal with everything externally when, I mean, I'm messed up. Like, I got a lot of shit to deal with. Like, why am I going to spend my time trying to fix you? I'll work on me, and I'm hoping that all helps out everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge mess.
Right. Let's talk about Big Y in a second. So in the meantime, guys, follow us both on Facebook, Greg McDaniel, and I am Pursuing Results on all platforms. Follow Greg on Instagram. He is McDanielCallahan.realestate. I am also Pursuing Results, as I am on everything. And then make sure to reach out to Andy on Facebook as well. So Scherer, Scherer. So make sure to follow and friend us as necessary. But let's get into the whole Big Why, because all the things you talk about, especially alignment, if there's one thing you can make sure that you're aligned in that'll probably have the biggest impact on your life, I think it's just understanding your Big Why. And I've gone through the process over the last, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years, however long it's been since I really started working deeply with Frank back when I was at Viral Marketing to really, and he's very good at asking the right questions. And Andy, you've done this with Aaron, and Aaron does it with other people. So I want you to give people a sense of the questions that you would ask a coaching client and that anyone can ask themselves to start drilling down and understanding better what their big why is so that they can get better in touch with their motivation and why they do what they do.
So, and Aaron does a great job, I think. So he has something going on, and I just want to give him some accolades here real quick. So he has the Aaron Wittenstein, I think, is Project Y is what he's doing, which is amazing thing. I think he's doing 3 or so conversations every week, helping people discover, their big why, essentially. So I have a couple different ways to get there. It depends on how people are responding, I guess. So one thing that I love about coaching is that I'm not able to approach everyone the same way. So if I have somebody who's just a talker, I can ask some really simple questions. As long as I'm guiding it and it's not drifting down the path of therapy, I'm good. But just really diving in, and Aaron, I think, simplifies it a lot. And he just says, just keep asking yourself why. When I'm talking with people and talking through this, I'm listening for other things too. So I'm listening for hesitations. I'm listening for tonality inflections. I'm listening for big breaths, breaths, not breaths. Anyway. So,
oh my God.
So, I'm listening for different things though that they don't necessarily know that they're doing. And thinking about things, I can't look at you right now. And just trying to understand, where their thought process is going. So if they get hung up on a question, I'm going to dive in much, much deeper there. So if they take a deep breath or sigh right before the next answer, I know that I'm going to start to dig right there. So it takes time to really get to that level. I think if you start without somebody guiding you through that exercise, just keep asking yourself why, and it'll naturally walk you through. You may not get as deep as you'd like until you hit that point, but you start on that path, and as long as you continue down that path, you probably won't find it until you start to get goosebumps or feel some sort of emotion. Once you get that feeling of I can't push anymore, otherwise I'm gonna break. You're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a great book, Simon Sinek. If you guys have never heard of him.
Start with why.
Start with why. One of my absolute favorite books. That man, go watch what he does. He will radically transform the way you do your business. I mean, I've sat there and just watched his YouTube videos and his talks so many times, and he still mind fucks me when it comes to the way he does it. Because I'm like, how come we don't all look at it like that? Why are we look at what we do, not why we do it?
That's right. I'm 100%, dude. So, and I apologize for cutting you off, but
no,
I'll just tack onto it too.
No, please do more of that, please.
Dude, do that. yes, do that. So I think it's exactly that. So we talk about value and in the absence of value, creating objections, and that's it. That I would beg to differ. If you get 5 of the top agents, they've probably forgotten to go in and start with why. Why are they actually in real estate, and why are they not selling insurance?
Yeah.
Why is that the chosen path? So understanding not just your big why, but also the why of why you're doing what you're doing and what that value proposition is, because that is the unique value that everybody will end up buying into.
Yeah. It's your authenticity and what you do, not why you do it, not what you do. Because everyone knows what you do if you sell real estate, but why do you do it? Go look at the example between Microsoft and Mac. Apple. Why do we all have a phone from them, basically? Why didn't we buy from someone else? It was a computer company. Why not a phone company? Why do we buy that from them? Now it's a music company because they said, do this, stand out, be different. This is what I stand for. I'm different. I'm cool.
Yeah,
not like, hey, I'm
making it a giant pain in the ass to get anything that I want done. Thank you, Apple, for that. But yes,
I like 9-minute snoozes.
What? Oh yes.
For whatever reason, he chose 9 minutes, and I can't get it off in 9 minutes. So it is what it is.
But it is nice. It's not 10, because 10 is too much, and 8 is too little.
That's right.
When I went out there and I started, the reason why this podcast was created and why I do all the McDaniel challenges is because I had a big why. And my business partner and my father, after me leaving my team very unceremoniously, I came back hat in hand. I had nowhere to go, nothing to do. I had no skill set. I'm a college dropout who was an alcoholic, drug user, and just ate fast food and did nothing with his life. Why did they allow me to come back in when I sat there and asked, can I please be back on the team? They said, they took them about 10 seconds or less, and they said, yeah, you can come back onto that team. And I swore at that very moment that I was going to give back to everyone and anyone that ever had a question about anything I could help with, and I will give freely and fully of my time in my life so you guys can cut that gap from this long to this long in becoming a bigger, better, badder, smarter real estate professional, because if you truly want it, I'm willing to give it, because I was showing grace and humility when I needed it the most. That's my why. And I give it back in everything else. I know, Andy, I'm sure you have another one. I know Matt has a big one. You guys need to understand what those are. It's not like, oh, I like pretty houses. Oh, I like driving in nice cars. No, that's not your why. That's a result of your work, not a why you do your work. So what is that real thing? Don't say it's your kids.
Yeah. And everyone varies too. You know what I mean? Everyone is unique.
Everybody's unique, and it should be unique. If it was overall just blanketed up because whatever, that's not you. That's not you. You're a unique human being. There's never was someone like you, and never will be someone after you that's gonna be exactly like you. You're put here on this earth for a specific reason, so that why is specific to you. Go hunt it down. I dare you to go hunt it down. It will be an amazing journey. I mean, Andy, what was your response when you found your big why? Was it scary, or was it like relieving and just an incredible moment to really understand what and why you do what you do?
Yeah, it was like it was basically that was the fire. I mean, that was it. That was like, okay, it's freaking game time. Let's go. There's you put up a wall, I'm gonna bust through it. You put up 2 walls, yeah, guess what? I'm busting through it. Like there's nothing. There is nothing at this point
that's gonna stop me. No, absolutely not. The bad days are always going to keep coming, guys. That's why you sit your ass down and you remember that why. I've had multiple people just start crying on the phone when we're doing the McDaniel challenge. And we once break down those walls and get to that real why, and they really are honest with themselves. Then they'll contact me a month or 2 later and say, Greg, thanks so much for the call. This is what I've accomplished, and they have gone just light years past what they thought they could achieve. But it's because they.
And I think it switches things too. I mean, it truly, like for me, it was intentionality on a daily basis. It's like, cool, like now that I know, and it's like, it's not even that I didn't know before. It was the awareness of, holy hell, this is it. So, just the intentionality on a daily basis. Like if that's truly what your calling is, then why are you not implementing something to drive that, like on a daily basis? So Greg, with your McDaniel challenge, I mean, I would assume it's like an hour phone call that you're having with these folks. I mean, you're developing a huge relationship with them.
Oh, dude, I've heard some of the most horrific stories that people open up and tell me. And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe you're sharing this with me right now. But it's because that bond was created. I'm anywhere from 1 to 3 hours with these calls. I mean, I will sometimes really hit hand and like fall asleep at my desk, like, oh my God, I'm done. But it's so worth it. It's so worth it.
And it's the same thing. Like Aaron was trying to get me to do 15-minute phone calls. I was like, wait a minute. Like when meanwhile I'm struggling getting off at 50 minutes. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Like, you can't do it
guys.
15 minutes.
Yeah, I know a guy who does a 90-minute. All of his coaching sessions are 90-minute because that's how long it takes.
And that's where my coach is trying to push me to. He's like, there's no way that you guys can get everything done in 30 minutes, 45 minutes, in an hour maybe, but you're still stretching it and you're not covering everything.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
I mean,
those 30-minute sessions are really just, those are check-in calls to hold somebody accountable to specific actions. And that's, you can get anybody to do that. You can find a role-play partner, you can find accountability partners, you can find somebody for $0 to hold you accountable to just executing tactics.
Or you can hire a canned coaching program, you can do that
exactly.
too.
Actually, funny thing is, I was talking to a guy in my office here. I told you the story before, but Andy, you don't know this. A gentleman I've been working with for a long period of time comes into my office and goes, hey, Greg, I know you're really good at prospecting and you do it a lot. I need you to hold me accountable. My coach wants me to have an accountability partner. I'm like, isn't that what a coach does? He's like, oh, yeah, but my coach doesn't want to do it. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. $600 a month for 2 30-minute phone calls, and the guy won't ask you if you did your calls or send an email out? Are you shitting me? That's canned.
And it's the same thing. So, and I just had a conversation with one of my other coaching clients this morning. He's like, I just paid 6 months of coaching. Won't tell you what coaching program it was. But I mean, if you were lost, you would use a map, maybe.
Really?
It's so vexed. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No idea. None. So, and it's the same thing with any other company, man. I mean, you're going to get good coaches here, you're going to get bad coaches there. I mean, it is what it is. It's just how the nature of the beast rolls. But, it was like she would give me homework X, Y, and Z, and then all of a sudden I'd ask if we can review the homework and strategies, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, well we'll talk about that next week." I'm like, "Oh God, no."
Yeah, because she wasn't bothering to track her own homework she was assigning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be too much. Can't be bothered to take notes.
So that's why I have you, Matt.
No, you're right. You can't be bothered to take notes. You're exactly right. Which is why Greg does a McDaniel challenge instead of traditional coaching.
Oh God, yeah. You kidding me?
You can't be expected to remember all this.
You're like a grandfather.
Why do you say so?
Grandpa Greg.
Don't let that start trending. Please no.
Grandpa Greg. It's like, hey, let me take you on for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then I'm just gonna send you back to your parents.
Yes, right. Go little Padawans. Go back and do your thing.
Padawans. All right, guys. Andy, refresh everyone's memory on how they can connect with you.
Sure. Aside from the Padawans, so aside from Facebook, my personal cell is 203-257-5279. My email is andy@insourcerealestate.com.
That's awesome.
All right. And everybody, follow Greg.
Follow me.
Follow Greg on Facebook and on Instagram. Greg is easiest to find on Facebook by searching for Greg McDaniel. He is the one in Walnut Creek. And then on Instagram, he is McDanielCallahan.realestate. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I am pursuing results on both platforms. That is the easiest way to find me. And and if anybody, guys, if you have suggestions for guests, reach out to me. Shoot me a message on Facebook. We're always looking for great people. We have a producer who can reach out and do a quick call with them and kind of fill them in on the details of the show and get them booked really easily. So it's great. If you have anybody that's doing something innovative, something interesting, we want to talk to them and we want to bring what they're doing to all of you guys. So yes. And Greg, would like to talk about, you want to talk about rockstar prospecting?
Yeah. Matt, that's on your cue.
Go. Shut up. Of course. All right, guys. So I was putting the finishing touches on the page and everything today. We're just about ready to go live with the page, but we have completely revamped and overhauled what we would consider to be rockstar circle prospecting. This is kind of going to be Greg's essentially your signature course, Greg. Circle prospecting is the engine of your business. It's what it drives the entire team. It's what brings new leads, new blood into the database, which then gets cycled and turned into new buyers and seller clients. We're talking about, average price point of 1.3 million. This is the entire engine of Greg's team, and he's going to take you behind the scenes and show you everything from soup to nuts on how to make those calls, phrasing, tonality, scripting, why he stutters and stammers in the intro of those calls. I mean, the whole 9 yards. It's 4 weeks. It is a 4-week live, intensive, on the phone with Greg training course. It's on video, so we're using Zoom for the platform. So we'll probably take up to 20 per class. That way there's a lot of one-on-one interaction. You can actually role play with us. You can, try to stump Greg if possible, and that'll be fun. And he'll get live feedback on your phrasing and tonality. So, once you get done with the class, you'll know exactly what to do. You'll know what system. You'll know where to get the numbers. You'll know who to call. You'll know how to call them. You'll know what to say. You'll know what to leave for your voicemails. You'll know everything. So that's the idea.
If you guys walk away from it and you can't circle prospect, I don't know what to tell you, because this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm not going to hide a single thing from you. So if you guys like what I've been doing, you think that you can benefit from it, then sign up.
Let us know.
Get to know you. It's like a gigantic McDaniel challenge, but in a month instead of just one night. It's like a relationship instead of a one night stand.
It is the most horrible analogy ever. All right.
I had to go there.
Oh, gosh. Okay. If you are watching the replay or listening to the replay on iTunes, Stitcher, whatever the case is, make sure to hit subscribe. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to share the show with friends and relatives and anybody that you know that's in the business. Share it with your broker. Share it with your team leader. If you think the other agents in your office would get benefit, they can all benefit from what we have to bring and what our amazing guests have to share. So, Greg, anything you want to add before we wrap it up?
No. Just honored that I got to talk with Sheila today. Great things coming for you. She binge watched on us hardcore over the weekend. Justin, thanks for reaching out. Lily, Chen, thanks for reaching out and showing me that your team is kind of watching more video. Guys, if you have a thought, theory, question, or concern, hit me up on the Facebook message. I will get back to you as quick as I possibly can if I can answer for it. If I can answer the question for you quickly. Wow. Too much talking. Anyways.
Too much talking. All right. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you tuning in as always. And we will be back on Wednesday with another fantastic episode. I believe Trey Willard is back on the show. We checked in with him last summer.
Yeah.
He's since moved brokerages. He's built up his team. He's got going gangbusters. I think he's doubled his business since the last time we talked to him. We're going to ask him how in the world he did that. So it's going to be a really good episode. That is Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. Until then, guys, thank you so much. And we'll see you then.
We love you guys. See you then. Bye-bye.